I was going to
How's it
say,
say?
so I got something else sent to me here, which is, I guess it's from Reddit. It says like r/Bumble. It says, how do you find a man who explicitly wants kids in the next 2 to 3 years without scaring him off by bringing it up too soon? It's very short. I'll just read it very quickly. She says, I'm 30 years old and have started to want a child really badly. So she's got baby rabies, right? It always hits around 29, 30. I'll do it alone, but live far from family, which is just retarded. Like these women that think that they can raise a man or a woman by themselves, they're completely out to lunch. You know, we've seen the data on it. I cover it in my book. Anyway, um, I do it alone, but live far from family and just not wealthy enough, sadly. I know Bumble's paid version lets you filter matches based on how they answer the question about kids, but A, some still answer that in a hypothetical someday way, and B, some people do not say yes on Bumble for different reasons, but still want them. I don't like having to play games of appearing not that interested when this is my clear 5 year plan, but also have had not much luck asking directly. At it, I live in New York City. It's a world in itself. I've repeatedly been told I'm far too young to have that in my mind. See, that's feminism telling her, "Oh, I'm far too
You
young to
got
have
time.
that." You're 30, okay? Like the window is closing, okay? Anyway,
And it's terrible dating those chicks too because they're negotiating attraction. My 5 year plan.
yeah.
That's not how female attraction works. And
Yeah, she
going back
wants
to
you
Moss'
on
point,
her plan. She wants you on her plan.
Yeah.
She wants you
yeah,
to show up with the money, with
uh-huh.
the house, with the job, pay for the wedding, pay for everything on her plan, on her timeline, right?
Which
Why
means
doesn't she
you're
just
going to
submit
you're
an
going to lose
offer?
attraction as a man by doing that. You're not going to get her love. You're not going to get her respect. She will be stepping out of the marriage. And again, it's the reason I get so amped up about this is because good guys that know none the wiser, like just good stand-up high-class dudes in terms of like the moral traditional sense, these guys get fucking shit on following this stuff, and the women suffer too. Going back to Moff's point, if you look in like the comments after I show, it's always loser anonymous guys that have a problem with what we're saying. And if you look the women, they're 100% in agreement. How do we know this stuff? Because I hang out with a lot of women and we talk about these things. And you understand very quickly when you run volume what works and what doesn't work. And I'm sorry, but I get fired up about this stuff because then guys
Well,
go on the other side of the
literally,
camera from us, like,
well,
hey man, I'm doing everything right and I'm not getting ahead. I'm like, you got to pull the bullshit out of your head. You just have to do it.
I
Well, I
tweeted
think
something the other day that a lot of guys had a problem with, and Rich, you retweeted this, and I was
yeah.
like, "There's a common problem where," and we saw this firsthand. We had the ladies' night stream last Monday where we had women that literally affirmed what I said. I said, "It's interesting how as women get older and the more baggage they pick up, the higher and more strenuous their standards get." We had two women that looked us dead in the face and said, "Yeah, as I've gotten older, my standards have gotten higher, and I won't settle." And people just came for my neck in my comments. It's like,
They said it directly.
what
They didn't
world
even
do you
skirt
live
around
in?
the
I'm
issue.
talking to women, man. I'm not just making this stuff up and just spouting it off nonsensically. Like it's the truth.
Yeah.
How about our 10%
what,
chat last night?
what
One of the newer kids at game. He's learning real quick. Like, hey, this chick's a pain in the ass. Rich even jumped on there. Leave her
Yeah,
on
he's
red.
great.
Ignore her. She came right back, changed her tone real quick. I posted a screenshot a couple years ago now. Some girl, oh, I'm not going to come straight to your house, especially in a foreign country. Left her on red. 4 hours later, hey, I'm keen to see you. Do you want to F? And the guy's like, whoa. I'm like, that's how the game works, guys.
I've got some
so
stories regarding that.
Yeah, leave your girls on
so
red.
listen,
God.
you said that their standards get higher as they get older. So what were their standards before? I'm really eager to know what were your standards from 20 to 33 to 34. They must have been really
Knows
like
the DJ, the doorman, the
carouseled
barman.
up. Yeah,
Well,
Yeah,
exactly.
it's because
The
they're
standards
screening
were,
for
was he
different
hot?
things. Yeah, because
Are
they're
they
not screening
Exactly.
for the same things and they're younger.
Have
They're
a
screening
pulse.
for husband and father stock as they get older. They're not screening for that generally at 22, 23,
Yeah.
24.
But I mean, like, here's the thing. Like, we've had several weeks now of these ladies' night show, and I think if anybody can take anything from them, it's like watch the behavior, watch the prior behavior. Don't always listen to what they're saying. You're going to start to see conflicts, especially when clarifying questions are asked. But a lot of these women, like we've had, I think, as young as 18 or 19, as old as
19.
50s, something like that. But
And from all over the world.
from all over the world. And, I think that, the one thing that we've seen is like the women that are at this stage, like this 30-year-old stage, where they have baby rabies, where they're anxious and they're like, I have a 2 to 3 year, dating window and then a 5 year window to have kids. So it's 2 to 3 years to date, to get the ring, to set up the party, to get engaged, to do the photographs and the video. And then it's within 5 years, I have to have my first kid because then I'll be 35. Like, they have a plan in their head. Right. And it's like, they
That's what men
forget
do.
completely about everything else, about what it takes to be a good wife and a good mother. Like they want the party, like they want to get
Oh.
married, but they don't always want to
Yep.
be a wife, and they don't always want to be a mother, because their plan then is, we'll have the babies and drop them off at daycare, right?
The question's framed the wrong way. The biggest problem is this. They're saying, how do I find a guy, or which guy do I look for that is going to give me what I want, instead of looking in the mirror and saying, how do I become a woman that a guy wants to give children to? That is the biggest problem. They're not looking at themselves in the mirror saying, at 30 years old, how do I make myself as attractive as possible? If that dude is head over heels for you and wants you and you're the shit, he will put kids in you. If that's if that's his ultimate goal. The reason these women are getting these lukewarm responses of, oh, I don't know, not right now, I don't want to commit. You're the problem. What people don't understand, and what people are afraid to look at themselves and really know, is that if somebody doesn't want to commit to you, if somebody doesn't want to move you out of the friend zone, if some guy doesn't want to move you as a woman out of the friends with benefit zone, it's you. It isn't them. Yeah. It's not the fact that men won't commit. There's not this epidemic of men that just want hookups. They just don't want you. Guys, these women are not these evil bitches who just want to run on the CC and that just want to do all this nonsense and chase. They just don't want you. And too many people are unwilling to look at themselves and have that honest conversation and fix it.
And Moff, you that's an excellent point. And back to what you said earlier about, and Rich said about, our conference that's coming up in our get together in Tampa and the other one in Florida. If you guys out there, if you're listening to this and you're going to go pay money to go be a pickup artist, I can train my dog. Okay, my dog's really dumb, but I can train him to get into his cage at night. You'll pay money to get trained on how to pick up ladies, and then you'll have nothing else. You'll literally be a one-trick pony. Instead of, developing yourself and having them come to you, you'll just learn how to fool people. That's all.
Mm-hmm. And
it's the exact same as what. You can't retain them. And it goes exactly back to what Marv said. The problem isn't the world. Why can't you get it to do what you want? You have to improve yourself first, and then it'll come to you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's it's a slippery slope. There's so many, they keep, like, two of the lies here that this gal, in this Reddit post. One, she said, people keep telling me that I'm too young to worry about this. And two, the other bullshit lie is, well, I can do this on my own if I want, or I'd consider doing this on my own if I want. By default, if she's entering the conversation in the first paragraph saying, I can basically do this on my own, I don't need a guy, why is she shopping for a guy?
Yeah, you've already lost.
She clearly doesn't respect or value men or masculinity or what a father would bring to the table if she says that she can do this on her own. There's this whole movement of single mother by choice, like SMBC. Like, you'll see this acronym. Like, if you Google SMBC or you put it in like social media, you'll see things populate. And it's the same blind leading the blind, right? Like, I don't need no man, a woman needs a man, like a fish needs a bicycle, sort of thing. Right. But here she is on a Bumble Reddit asking, how do I get a guy to marry me within 2 to 3 years? Because I'm 30, right? Like, I feel my biological clock ticking. It's like, it doesn't matter what you do. You're setting yourself up for massive, potential failer.
That's literally baby rabies right there. Yeah. Like, it's baby rabies. And,
I think that we should pose that question on Monday night. I think that's a good one to sort of table.
Save that.
Yeah, I think that's a good one. And the woman's the one who suffers right there, because the same way, like, guys that come through us for coaching or in the communities, they match a girl on Tinder and they get overexcited, they're over texting and they're hitting her up, and then they push her away by doing that. That's weird. That's odd behavior. And it's the same thing that women do with the baby rabies, saying, hey, I don't want to date you unless you're looking to get married in 1 year. They're putting pressure on you. It kills attraction for men, for high quality men. It's funny because those are the types of girls that make the rules. Oh, you got to wait 3 dates, whatever. For high quality guys, whenever a girl says no hookups, that means she's down to hook up. It's a screen test to filter you out. If you don't get it, then you're not at that level in game yet. And then she gets ran through, she gets pumped and dumped. And in doing so, she decreases her value more. She's a bit older. She has one notch count higher. And her standards go higher with every notch, which is hilarious how that inverse works to where it widens that gap in terms of her actual value and her perceived value of herself. And then guys like us, we have better options. So, like, yeah, if a 36-year-old wants to roll through and, I'm looking for marriage and no one night stands, she'll come right over, but I'm not gonna I'm not going to take her seriously. That'll be the younger girl, the more feminine girl, the girl that falls more into my frame, that brings that unbridled femininity into my life, and not, Jaron, we're on a timeline, clock's ticking, gotta move, here's the next step. That's male energy, and that turns guys off.
Yeah, no, that's 100% accurate, man. 100%. I really hope you guys enjoyed that clip. If you want to watch the full-length podcast, you can find that over here, that clip's from. If you're newer to the channel, make sure you hit subscribe over here, and pin down below in the top comment, you'll find a bunch of useful links to my website, my supplement line, books, and a bunch of other stuff. Have an amazing day. Peace out.